everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from sweltering Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, folks, these are hard, trying times that we live in.
Yeah, sure. But also, there's shit afoot
Yeah.
in these United States.
Yeah.
You international listeners, I'm sure, are watching with interest, as are we.
And befuddlement, probably.
And
absolute, complete befuddlement.
as are we about what's happening in this country.
Good Lord.
We'll be talking about the latest development and,
Yeah.
and what it might mean and all of that sort of stuff.
And plans for fleeing.
Yeah, sure. Got to get my Canadian papers in order, which I do have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You have that option, Dan.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can go to Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are going to do.
Well, before you do go to Canada, Dan, you might want to shave and clean up a little bit so that you know.
In Canada, you really got to put that best foot
and
forward.
You want to make sure that your face really matches the photo on all your documents.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't want any question when you get to that border.
That's right.
About whether they're letting you in or not.
That's right. Which is why I use Harry's.com for my shaving needs, because I know I'm going to get that super photogenic, excellent for passports, shaved look.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying, Dan.
Yes, absolutely. So Harry's, as you all know by now, our sponsor, HARRYS.com, is with the /TGIA. This is your outlet for the best shaving experience of your life.
Mm-hmm. And it really, shockingly, is, Dan.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I've had better was in a barber's chair.
Right.
Right.
With a straight razor.
With a professional. But as far as doing it at home, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Comfortable shave, Dan?
Smooth.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Listen, if you haven't tried them yet, and we know most of you haven't, if you haven't tried them yet, just give them a try. Mm-hmm. All you do, you go to harrys.com /TGIA, you sign up, you get the free kit. The whole initial kit is free because you know us, and we're hooking you up.
Yeah. And
you go in, you get the 5-blade cartridge, you get the ergonomic handle, you get the smooth as silk shave gel with that great smell.
So smooth.
And you get the travel thing. Travel.
It has a name, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the thing though.
But it's the travel thing.
The travel thing. It clips onto the head of the thing.
Keeps your fingers from getting cut when you reach into your ditty bag.
It's not gonna, that blade will not be dulled by anything in your bag, and it will not also shave your sweaters while you're not looking.
Smart.
And then you get it all for free. You try it out. If you love it, you keep getting them. They just send them to you. If you don't love it, you cancel. No big deal. You got a bunch of free stuff. All you paid was shipping.
Amazing.
Where's the downside? Where is it? There isn't one.
I've
Anyway.
looked, Dan. Can't find it. All right.
Go to harrys.com /TGIA and sign up. Just pause the show right now and go do it, and then come back to the show. We'll still be here.
We'll still be here.
All right.
It's a recording. All right, Dan.
Yes, sir.
A few years ago, we mentioned on the show the First Church of Cannabis.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Canada.
No.
Okay.
Over there in Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember this. They claim that marijuana is part of their holy sacrament. It's part of their religious observance. Right?
Sure.
Well, they were in court not too long ago.
Sure.
Judge Cheryl Lynch of the Marion Circuit Court, she decided Friday that the state of Indiana has a compelling interest in preventing marijuana possession, and so therefore the First Church of Cannabis is being denied their religious freedom, which was their claim,
It's so dumb.
to possess and use marijuana. She said that she argued that an exemption would put Indiana's police officers in the difficult position of having to evaluate the sincerity of a marijuana user's religious faith. Okay.
Oh, no.
Here's a problem here, Dan.
Yeah.
This is what the right wants desperately.
Right.
Is religious exemptions to federal law.
Right.
They want this desperately.
It's what they talk about nonstop.
Right.
They can't, like, if they get, like, okay, frankly, she's wrong because the way that they all like to judge religious sincerity is just if I say it, I'm sincere.
Yes,
I don't want to bake that cake for that gay person.
It's sincere.
It's sincere, and they don't want anyone questioning it.
Well, why wouldn't you object to baking a cake for a gay person?
Right?
Well, I mean, clearly
They're
this is
just going to judge you for it.
They might even eat it.
Oh, disgusting.
Damn. They might actually have a wedding ceremony
where they eat the cake?
A reception later
Oh.
where cake is eaten. Holy shit.
This is, they're incorrigible, those gays.
Yeah.
It is the bald-faced hypocrisy of the conservative religious right in this country and other countries that is so remarkable. And we're going to talk about that a little later. It's amazing to me how much they can say with as many exclamation points as they can muster something. And then once it applies to someone else, be like, well, not for them.
Or for that.
No.
That's not what we meant at all. This is so we can be prejudiced.
This is
not so people can
Do you not understand
marijuana?
the concept of trying to preserve our own privilege? What's the point here, people?
Read between the lines. We weren't talking about marijuana.
Right. Religious freedom is for us.
It's so we can act like oppressors.
Right.
And be oppressors.
The freedom to be bigots. That's what we want.
That's what freedom of religion is.
It's not for some hippy-dippy jackhole that just wants to get high and feel good.
Right. Or who, as the Indiana's Attorney General said about the church, that it's a pro-marijuana political crusade that turned into a legal stunt.
Yeah.
He goes on. He says, Indiana's laws against the possession, sale, and use of marijuana protect the health, safety, and well-being of Hoosiers statewide. Mm-hmm. The fact that they use that word.
Right.
Without irony.
It was a really good movie.
It's a dumb word.
It's so stupid. This is really stupid because it's going to be legal nationwide. Like, toot sweet.
Right. But this came out, Dan. The First Church of Cannabis filed this lawsuit in response to Indiana passing they call it the Religious Freedom Restoration Act.
Right.
Let those words sink in for a second. Religious Freedom Restoration.
Right. They're restoring religious freedom.
Where has their religious freedom ever gone?
Right. Well,
it's so fucking absurd.
Again, we keep taking away their right to abject bigotry. We keep giving other people freedoms.
Freedoms and rights. Rights have this interesting thing of sometimes overlapping each other, right? Right. No, they legitimately do, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I think what we need to just accept as a society is that you don't have a right under any circumstances to treat me differently, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm probably saying it too blanket, anyway, but you just don't. You can't single out a group of people, right? And then say that they get to be treated differently by this group over here because they have some religious objection.
Your religious beliefs,
the practices, the activities of those people.
Right. You have the right to your religious beliefs
of those people.
That's fine. You just don't get to impose anything on anybody else.
Right.
Like, that's your religious beliefs are about you.
Believe what you want to. It's
And
stupid.
Hate whoever you want to hate. But
Sure.
you still have to, like, we still have to protect all of the citizens of the country, and they still all need to have their rights.
Right.
So if your religion says that, you know, brown and black people are worse than white people and don't deserve good things, well, then don't you give them any good things. But you can't say that the government has to stop giving them good things.
Or if you decide to open up a business that's open to the public at large, right,
Yeah.
then guess what? You can't treat those people differently.
I went into one of my favorite restaurants in town recently, and they had a sign
Did
up.
they deny you service?
Well, they had a sign up that said, "We reserve the right to deny service to anyone for any reason." And I'm like,
such a bullshit.
A, you don't have that right. And B, putting that up is just a way of saying, we're not saying who, but we don't like somebody.
You're on notice, though.
Right.
You know who you are.
Right. Whoever you are, don't come in.
You with your no shirt, no shoes.
Or you try something. You
You
pull
know.
some shenanigans, mister, like being yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm going to take us to the Philippines, where their fearless leader, their
Fearful, fearless.
their horrible
Okay.
dictator,
Yeah.
dickhead Rodrigo Duterte.
That's a nice. I love the name Duterte.
It's fun to say.
If I could pick a new last name,
You'd be Frank Duterte.
Frank Duterte. Doesn't that sound great?
Frank Duterte.
And you have to overpronounce the T's.
Yeah, you do have to.
Duterte.
You
Duterte.
Duterte. I'm going to call him Duterte. Duterte. So anyway, Mr. Duterte, you'll recall, I think we talked about it on the show a little while ago. Maybe we didn't. Anyway, he's been talking shit. He's so weird because, like, the Philippines is a wildly Catholic country.
Oh, yeah.
Like, super, super duper Catholic.
Yeah.
And he's been talking shit on God. Like, this guy who, like, yeah, I mean, he rules with a bit of an iron fist. He's the guy
Yeah.
that's sort of been murdering people to try and, in his quest to, in his war on drugs, he's been actually, like, sending out murderous raid parties and whatever.
Well, he personally has been out there shooting people too, like
Yeah.
and stabbing.
Yeah,
shooting
he's-
and stabbing.
He's a very effective leader. Anyway, last week he called God stupid in a speech and said he was he pissed a lot of people off with that. This week he doubled down.
Oh,
He went further.
okay.
He basically said, if anyone can show him any evidence of a God, he'll resign, is what he said. He said, which is funny because then it puts me in the position of going, well, now I kind of hope that they can find some.
Yeah, I know. And why is it always the baddies, you know, of the
Yeah.
world leaders who are like, yeah, there's no God.
The outspoken. Well, because the good atheist leaders, and Lord knows we've had some,
Sure.
are quiet about it.
One would think.
Yeah.
Right. But come on, Duterte.
Duterte. Yeah. What is the logic of God there? He asked in a speech. He said, if there's one single witness who can prove, suggesting maybe a picture or selfie, that they were able to talk and see God, he would immediately resign.
I like a selfie with God.
Sure. Who doesn't want that?
In this day and age, that's what you would ask.
Yeah. Frankly, that's what you go for.
God shows up, you're like, ooh, selfie.
Right. I could have him. I don't know. I've asked him for world peace already. He's done nothing. I might as well get the selfie.
You know what, though? He's a dick. He's not going to give you a selfie.
No, or yeah, he'll agree to it, and then when you take the picture, he's
Just
not
disappear. Yeah.
there. There was only one set of footprints.
Yeah. And then when you don't need it at all, boom, selfie.
Oh yeah, he'll appear in your toast.
Yeah. Hey, look at me.
but
I'm in your toaster.
but yeah, you whip out your iPhone, he's gone.
Oh, that's too bad.
Just ask him for the water to wine thing. That's as good as you're gonna get.
I would settle for that.
Right?
You know? I mean,
One would imagine it'd be good wine, right? You'd imagine it'd be good wine.
I would say at least 92.
Not some Manischewitz bullshit or whatever. Like some
No.
some
No,
awful Moscato or something.
This is get some good shit, you know.
Yeah.
All the wine enthusiasts definitely gave it a 92.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's in the 90s.
You would want.
You hope for the 98.
Yeah,
You're not going to get
You're
a
not going to.
You're not going to get a 98
that's just
rated.
so rare. God saves that stuff for himself.
It's like a
He holds back a little.
$35 to $50 bottle. It's not the $300 bottle,
Right.
But it's a nice. It's a complex fruit notes with a really nice finish.
Lovely legs, great legs.
Beautiful legs. No, not high on tannins.
No. No.
Nuances of toast. Anyway, let's go on.
All right, Dan. There's a website out there that you might have heard of. It's called Amazon.com.
Oh, and is it a rainforest preservation website?
One would think no. It instead. I did have to look it up.
Okay.
It seems to be some sort of online Walmart.
Oh.
Even though there is a Walmart.com, which I already knew about. And it's great, Yeah, it has literally everything, Dan.
Whoa.
Anything you type in, including, let's see. Let's say you were looking for a costume of a lynching victim.
Oh, my.
You could just type that in, and you could find that on Amazon. You could also find a hangman's noose decal.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, there's plenty of Nazi memorabilia.
Oh, fun.
There's children's toys featuring the alt-right symbol Pepe the Frog.
Of course.
Let's see, what else? There's the children's book, The Fable of the Ducks and the Hens, a dramatic saga of intrigue, propaganda, and subversion. Your kids are going to love it, folks, with a title like that.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily seem like it's a white supremacist children's book, but it is. It's all
you start
about
to read it, and then you go, I did not see that coming.
Well, it's a warning about the danger of allowing immigrants into the country.
Yeah.
And the item description doesn't mention, of course, that the author, George Lincoln Rockwell, also created the American Nazi Party and coined the phrase white power. There's just all sorts of stuff
as if that was a
here.
phrase that needed coining.
Yeah.
I think everybody could kind of look at the state of white people in the world and go, yeah, they've got a lot of power.
Yeah. So these items are not necessarily for sale directly from Amazon. They have this sort of third-party vendor program.
They have a pass-through sort of thing.
Yeah, and so you're selling the goods. Amazon handles the sort of customer service and collecting the money and everything for a fee. And so, but all of these items, including a book called White Apocalypse, which claims that white people were the original Native Americans before dark-skinned people invaded. Which is, there you go.
They need to team them up with Mormonism on that one. I feel like they've got common cause. Good job, guys.
Yeah, all of these items, they're available from these third-party vendors, and they're in violation of the terms of use.
Okay.
Right, for being a seller on Amazon. However, Amazon essentially has or doesn't care to actually really police their own website. It takes people where was it? The Southern Poverty Law Center,
sure,
to be on the lookout among other groups, and they report them. And sometimes Amazon isn't doing a very good job of taking them down, even once they're reported, because they're making a ton of money. Now, not all of this $131 million that comes from third-party vendors is from racist or Islamophobic or anti-Semitic or anti-LGBTQ groups, but there are a lot of these groups that are making money selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
There's also music for sale in their
course.
music store.
Of course.
A genre I hadn't heard of, Dan. Hatecore.
Oh.
It's white power music.
Sure.
It's a multi-million-dollar worldwide industry that is apparently a major conduit of money toward white supremacist groups. And it also brings a lot of younger recruits into...
Oh, yeah. You get that angsty guitar going. Just fires them right up.
Yeah.
Rah!
Anyway, I thought that would be worth noting. Amazon has lost a lot of... I had my moment
You guys...
where I was spending a bit of money on Amazon. You know?
Yeah.
Anything that was like convenient to order, I was ordering on Amazon.
I still use them, but you know what? Maybe I'm going to write an email and ask them to police that a little better.
Yeah.
And maybe all of our listeners should do the same.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
We're going to encourage activism on this show.
Too bad we weren't ready for that with an email address.
Yeah, just go to Amazon and find the
Customer
contact us.
service. Yeah.
It's at the bottom.
But you know,
it's
like,
always at the bottom.
It's kind of a shitty company. They have terrible labor practices.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
Yeah.
And Bezos is like, you know,
The Antichrist.
he kind of looks like it.
Oh.
And he did buy that Washington Post paper, that muckraking Washington Post.
Ugh, the Post. Anyway, let's move on. I'm international today. I'm going to Israel now, where an Orthodox politician named Hebrew name Yinon Azulay.
Well done.
Thank you. This is just one of those lovely moments where we get to realize that it's not just American Christians who are asshole dicks about their religion and who make outrageous claims for their own political gain. This guy. So there's apparently some debate within the Knesset on prayer
Knesset
space
being the legal body, the legislative body.
Their parliament,
Yes.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's some debate about the Western Wall in Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
Which is a holy site and a prayer site, and of course the Orthodox Jews believe that they have full that they're the real Jews, and so they should be able to pray there, and no one else probably should, but other people get to, including girls.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
Isn't that yeah, it's lame.
Like, it's okay to let some other people come over, but
men,
women?
let's keep it men.
No.
Manly. You have to have a penis to pray, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone knows
Especially
that.
at the wall.
Right? At a wall.
Praying at walls.
If you're talking to your imaginary friend near a structure, shouldn't you be Orthodox? Let's just be real. Anyway, this guy was talked, this whole debate has been very upsetting to him. And he drew a nice connection. He said, "Today we heard that there was some kind of earthquake. Maybe we should do some soul searching that this earthquake was because someone is trying to touch that which is sacred to us. Hear our pain. They are not Jews."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So awesome. A, we got the No True Scotsman right on in there.
Right.
And B, we got the natural disasters are caused by you not Jewing well. You're Jewing so badly.
Yeah.
Jew better. So,
Well, I don't know how, Dan.
your name is
I'm-
Feldman.
I'm
For
I'm doing the best I can.
I mean, we're not Jews, but we are Jewish. All right. Anyway, I just love, it's nice to know that it's not just the Pat Robertsons of the world.
You want this kind of thinking
like-
spreading throughout the world.
Well, no, I just like to be assured that America's not the only country that churns out these morons.
And that we probably didn't invent it.
We didn't invent it.
Yeah.
No.
This has been
It just
since time immemorial.
we may have perfected it. I'm not sure about that, but we didn't invent it.
All right. Well, heading up over to Oregon.
Oh,
Oregon.
the land of milk and honey. I think that's their state motto.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. I do know that it is the land of the followers of Christ Church.
Okay.
Which is one of these no, please don't ever go see a doctor churches.
Right. Right.
Just trust in Jesus. Jesus heals all.
Right.
And if Jesus chooses not to heal, then that person wasn't supposed to keep on living.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious when you think about it.
Yeah. No, it makes total fucking sense. Well, a young couple, Travis Lee Mitchell, 22, and Sarah Elaine Mitchell, 25, just had twin babies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. When babies are involved, this is not good.
Yeah, one of the babies had breathing complications and died shortly after childbirth.
And they faithfully did not take it to a doctor. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was like a home birth.
Uh-huh.
There were a bunch of people from the congregation were there, though.
Oh, good.
You know.
That's what you want.
Just praying and praying that everything would work out.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
When has that ever happened?
Never heard of that.
Let's see. A church elder did call the Clackamas County Medical Examiner's Office, but nobody ever called 911. Right?
So this newborn baby isn't breathing right.
Breathing complications. And then dies.
And then dies. How long was it alive?
It doesn't really say.
Okay.
Anyway, they have both pleaded guilty to criminally negligent homicide and first-degree criminal mistreatment. They were arrested last year, and they were facing murder charges. So the judge also ordered that they sign a letter that says, we should have sought adequate medical care for our children, and everyone in the church should always seek adequate medical care for our children.
Huh. Compelled speech. That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Well, but that was the terms. That's what got them 6 years, 8 months in prison with only 3 years of post-prison supervision. So they got...
So they're still going to jail.
They're going to prison for a while. They were not...
That's impressive. Frankly, a lot of these people
with murder.
A lot of these people make it out with like a slap on the wrist. So 6 years of prison sounds real to me.
Well, these two were no strangers to the risks involved of having home pregnancy and no medical care lined up.
Oh,
and
God.
Unwillingness to call 911, et cetera, et cetera. Because Sarah Mitchell's sister, Shannon Hickman, and her husband, Dale Hickman, were convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years in prison in 2011 for the death of their newborn son.
Wow.
In a similar case.
I remember that case. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Your sister?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't learn a lesson?
Nope.
I mean, here's the question. Do they go to jail and because of it, like, reconsider their position? Or do they go to jail and feel like a righteous martyr and walk out no better than they walked in?
I think it's probably a little bit of that.
It seems like it's the last. I mean, if her sister did it,
her sister came out and wasn't like,
no, you go to the, oh my God, go to the doctor, call the doctor right now.
Yeah, do the home birth thing, fine, but call 911.
There's nothing more idiotic than righteousness. It's the worst. It's the worst thing in the world, and frankly, in our community too. If you take a righteous position on something, fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, you might even be sort of have some evidence backing you up, but righteousness isn't helping.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to take us now. I've been all over the world. I'm going to land in our own fair backyard. Down to Colorado City, Arizona. Across the Arizona-Utah border from Hilldale, Utah, which combine. Their powers combine to form Short Creek.
Form of Short Creek.
Right. Which we say creek because that's Utah for creek.
Right.
And Short Creek / Crick is the former headquartered home of the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, the FLDS Church.
Right.
The many wife marrying polygamist Mormons.
Yeah. This is what's the name? They're the
FLDS.
Yeah, but what's the leader's name?
This was Jeff's Warren Jeff's
Warren Jeffs.
group. Before he moved
Jeff,
to Texas.
I wanted it to be Jeff Sessions. I just couldn't come up with Warren Jeffs. All right.
Warren Beauregard Jeff Sessions III. Anyway, yeah. So but that particular community of FLDS people has fizzled quite a lot since Jeff's moved away and then got arrested in Texas, and also the state of Utah did a whole crackdown on them and confiscated a bunch of their property and then distributed it and sold it off and all sorts of things.
Right.
So recently, I mean, I think we reported it last year, I think, or not too long ago. Hilldale elected a female mayor.
Oh yeah,
which was a big to-do, a non-FLDS female mayor, and then a whole bunch of the government employees of Hilldale resigned en masse because
they weren't going to work for no lady.
They weren't going to work for no lady, and especially not no lady whose husband only has her or whatever. It doesn't have any extras. So now
they call them Mons.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, so Utahns
I won't work for a Mon.
Utahns call polygamists poligs. So I guess that turnabout would be fair play.
Monogs.
Stupid Monogs. Have you heard Kylie Minogue's new album, by the way? That's great.
Man.
Anywho, the degradation of the morality of Short Creek continues.
I know. Ugh.
What
is going to be left of this place?
Let me tell you. Well, this is the new thing. You ready for this? No. A bar.
What?
A bar
on the Arizona side?
On the Arizona side in Colorado City.
Okay.
Is opening up. And yeah, so Edge of the World Brewery and Pub.
That is Edge of the World down there.
It feels like it. It feels like it. So yeah, I mean, this was something like, it doesn't sound like a thing, but it was like even a year ago, that's never would have happened. The city council wouldn't have allowed it, but now there's going to be an upcoming election down there, and none of the people running for city council are FLDS, so it will be a majority non-FLDS city council.
Wow.
On the Arizona side. For the first time in forever.
That's bizarre.
So there you go. It's going off the rails. The whole community is just falling apart. Satan stepping in.
What are they going to do?
They literally are complaining about, like, so here's Joseph Allred. This is a quote from a member of the current city council who's not up for re-election, who says, "When you bring in a lot of the things America likes," I love that. Like, his fear is the things America likes, particularly vices like alcohol and tobacco.
Oh boy.
A vape shop apparently opened up there too. You lose a lot of the enjoyments of the simple things. I like the quiet of a small town. I like peace. I like no crime, except for underage marrying and all sorts of rape and all sorts of.
Yeah.
But nobody's robbing anybody, so that's good. Yeah. I like neighbors helping neighbors. Yeah, that'll stop immediately once the vaping starts. Neighborliness. Also,
but here's the deal: who's withholding their neighborliness at this point?
Right. We've heard the stories. We know how you guys are.
Because that new vapor on the block, right?
Yeah.
I bet he'd show up or she'd show up to,
if you were neighborly, he'll help you move.
Yeah.
But you're not asking for his help.
No.
You're asking for, you want all of the...
And you're not going to offer yours.
No, not at all. These are the most insular people on the planet.
Yeah.
So the neighborliness that is not happening is your fault.
Yeah.
Dingo. Anyway.
All right.
If you would like to be neighborly, how about writing us an email? You can do so by writing podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Correct. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click that like button.
And while you're on Facebook, why not search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge? Request to join. It is a closed group.
Why not?
But we will let you in. And also on Reddit, search for the TGI Atheist subreddit.
Yeah.
We're there.
I even joined up on Reddit just to be there. So there you go. You'll see both of us.
It's amazing.
Maybe.
Hey, Dan.
Oh, yes?
So...
Hello, Dan. I've got some audio to play. Oh, we should never do these voices again. But why? They're so fun.
Rick Wiles, Dan.
Oh, Ricky
Curmudgeon galore.
Oh, he's a
Extraordinaire,
treat.
I mean.
He's a very important Christian.
Yeah, well, he's sort of a prognosticator.
Oh, he's going to prophesy.
And yeah, he's got something to say. Oh God.
I'm going to say this. He might not be wrong on some of these things.
I think he's pretty wrong. But let's listen to see what he has to say.
Okay.
The Democrats are now stalking members of the Trump administration. My friends, I'm telling you, there is a day coming, perhaps this year, they're going to shoot members of the cabinet. They're going to shoot members of the House and Senate. The next step will be physical confrontation, where they're going to throw something on them. They're going to throw blood on them. They're going to throw paint on them. They're going to do something outrageous. That will then be followed by the physical violence. Yes. It's coming. The Democrats have lost their minds. They've gone insane. They're anarchists. They're finally coming out and saying, we're communists. We're radicals. We're anarchists. We want to tear the country apart. That's what they're doing. And they're stalking members of the U.S. government. I don't know. Are we going to have to put bodyguards around every member of the cabinet, every member of the House and Senate? Is that what we've come down to? We have to put bodyguards around our elected officials to protect them from Democrats? I mean, at what point do you charge the Democratic Party with being a terrorist organization, a subversive terrorist organization? The left has gone berserk. They're totally crazy. You cannot assume that they will not cross the line. They've already crossed the line. Yes. That's the point I'm making. They've already crossed the line. They're already showing us they've lost control of their senses. They're willing to do anything, and killing is the next thing that they'll do. Don't forget, the Democratic Party started the first Civil War. It was a Republican Party that was formed at the time the Civil War was beginning, just before the Civil War. The Republican Party came into existence to stop slavery. They're going to kill Republican House members and Senate members. Mark my words. They're going to kill Republicans. And by 2020, on Election Day, they're going to kill Republican voters. They're going to block Republicans from voting.
Well, golly.
I love being told things about myself.
Here's the thing. The way that division is being sown on both sides of this country, I wouldn't be surprised if things started to get violent. More violent than they're already getting. I mean, they're already getting violent in things, you have the sort of the dickhead right shows up at on Berkeley campus or whatever, and then the dickhead left attacks them, and they're all just trying to create a violent scenario on purpose.
Right.
But people have been started harassing politicians in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I don't think that that's helpful. But if it would not surprise me if it turned violent. It really wouldn't. So I'm kind of not. Believe me, I'm not going with him down the road that he's going down. But people are pushing and pushing and pushing to try the division in the country. So, hey, listeners, just don't attack don't physically attack anyone for their political views.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and we had a little bit of a discussion about whether this bit of audio sort of fit our criteria, like what we look for in the break audio.
Right, because we want stuff that's about our theme, which is religion.
Right.
And this is we don't, I mean, people may disagree, but we try not to be a political show.
But unfortunately, and this is the issue with this. Okay, so we could easily just say Rick Wiles is sort of this, radical right, extreme conservative religious guy with a radio show.
Right.
And so that qualifies enough. Right. I actually don't feel like that was the reason why I wanted this one played.
Okay.
Which I think that there is, it's almost impossible at this point to to separate religion and politics on the right. And this is kind of what I want to talk about was this. They have intersected the two so completely on the far right that it's just who they are. It's they have this political agenda that is a religious agenda that is a political agenda.
Nobody can say we're veering out of our lane. The problem is that they veered all the way into our lane.
Yeah.
And so we have to talk about them.
Yeah.
We can't just let things like that stand because this was not a political wonk talking. This was a religious leader talking.
Saying ridiculous things, making predictions that, quite frankly, Dan, I mean, I hear your point, which is, well, I could see things getting violent. And I could see things getting violent, too. But I don't think that it's going to be multiple cabinet members, because he's using plurals here.
Right.
Cabinet members assassinated.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get to that. No, and that would be ridiculous.
Members of Congress being assassinated.
Yeah.
Blood being thrown on the president.
I mean, catch up.
That it could happen.
Right. Well, yes.
But it can't.
It's not going to happen.
The wall of security that exists around the president he has his own private military that protects him.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
and he
the
should.
thing.
You know what?
And he should.
I want our politicians to be safe.
I do too.
That's not the point here.
The members of Congress have a right to I think it's the Capitol Police that do their protection. They have a right to that. And so unfortunately, that is the world that we live in. But there's crackpots on both sides. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. It's
people who wanted to assassinate Obama.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think he was the most threatened president in our history or something like that, maybe, or at least in modern history.
I don't remember specifically.
But I mean, it's not like Rick Wiles was yelling about that.
Right.
Let's be clear.
Right.
He's only yelling about it if it's his guy.
But now that they have their Supreme Court nominator in chief in office, boy, they need that man protected.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, let's move on. We got some people to thank, or we have some emails first.
Do we now?
Yeah. Saint Kate has written in. I assume that's because she is a donor to our show.
Well, blessed be.
Yeah, indeed. She wrote in and said, I have to say I'm pretty devastated. Oh, no. I was worried. I've listened from the very first episode in order without sneaking ahead in about 1 year.
Holy crap.
For those of you who have bad math, that's about one episode a day.
Yeah.
Wow. So both of you have become part of my daily life, and now I don't know what to do. I have to wait each week for an episode like some sort of prehistoric caveman.
Oh, no.
I'm in Australia and also a former Mormon, which is a much different experience from the Salt Lake City Mormons. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Utah Mormons are a different breed. I do, however, relate to a lot of what you say about Mormons and Mormonism. Fuck the fucking fuckers, she says.
Whoa.
I mean, $32 billion. Are you fucking joking me? Anyway, thanks again for all the hard work. I hope to be listening for many more years to come. St. Kate.
All right, Kate.
Well,
thanks. That's awesome.
Sorry about the only once a week thing.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work to do this show.
I don't know. Maybe we should do 5 days a week.
We'll just do a weekly show, a daily show.
Daily show.
Nobody's
4 days a week. We can do
Oh.
a Monday through Thursday.
Oh, sounds awful. I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that. We're gonna.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. I barely have the energy for one.
Oh, poor Dan.
I know.
Poor Dan.
Anyway, thanks so much, Kate. We love you. Jivan wrote in. Dear Frank and Dan, my name is Jivan. I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat close to correctly. And I'm an Indian guy living in California. I'm an atheist and a former Hindu. I've been listening to your podcast regularly in the recent times. I observed that most of your topics are based on Christianity, and I'm not surprised given your association to the religion. However, I wanted to share something that happened from the part of the world that I come from. I recently have been hearing about a person called Babu, Gogineni, who is a humanist and human rights activist. He is mainly based in the city of Hyderabad, where I am also from. Although he has been an activist for some time now, he got popular recently when he started showing up on regional TV channels debating and debunking the pseudosciences which are prevalent in the country, mainly astrology. Lots of these astrologers are associated to the Hindu religion, and you may already know Hinduism is the largest religion in the country. Although he has a lot of haters from the religious fanatics, he became so popular that he gained a celebrity status from his approach and was invited to participate in the regional version of Big Brother.
Oh my God!
While he was spending his time there in the Big Brother house. This is for those who are uninitiated, a reality TV show. Which, if it works the way it does here in the States, they just trap a bunch of people in a house for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and then give them shit to do, but then also just sort of videotape their everything.
And they vote each other out.
Yeah.
It's last man standing game.
Right.
Yeah.
But also you get to sort of see all the salacious things that happen in the house and who's hooking up with who.
Well, and who's conniving behind somebody's back, who's two-faced, who's, what the political machinations.
It's Machiavellian
of the Big Brother house.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I watched one season. I couldn't bring myself to watch another. While he's spending his time there in the Big Brother house, there were about 13 different cases filed against him in the court for things he expressed on TV and social media. Some of the charges are sedition, hurting religious beliefs, and even treason. Although he does have enough legal and necessary support from his followers, I just wanted to share this story of the circumstances that you face when you campaign against the religious mafia in our country.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you can find his work debunking these pseudoscientists on YouTube, but not many are going to be in English. Keep up the good work. Well, thanks, Jivan.
Yeah.
That's quite a thing. Gotta love the reality TV. And you gotta love countries where you can be sued for expressing your counter-religious views.
You hurt my religious feelings, Dan.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Man.
You cannot hurt my feelings,
Right?
Dan.
Right? Oh, man, if only we atheists could sue for that in the United States of America.
I think we should. You hurt my non-believing feelings.
Because they're definitely 1,000% willing to hurt our feelings.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. That's fine. Who cares? It's fine.
Gotta have a thick skin, Dan.
Yeah, you gotta.
Buck up, little camper.
You really gotta take the blows. Do we have anybody to thank?
We do. We have a new donor on Patreon, RJ. He's a new faithful listener.
Oh,
so thank
RJ.
you so much, RJ.
If you want to be an admired and revered member of our podcast group, go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on that support tab, and then go to Patreon and just sign up whatever amount works for you.
Yeah.
You can, it's just a per episode donation. We're really trying to get, we want to get to the 300 donor mark, and then we want to go beyond that.
Right.
But right now we're not there yet. So please go and donate. And if you do, you'll be thanked as well. And we have one more person to thank.
We do indeed, Dan. Our top donor, our Lord and Savior. That's the title you get when you're the top donor.
Yeah.
Angela!
Oh, blessed be she.
And you get your name said like that, too.
Yeah, you get Frank getting that excited about you. Trust me, he has never gotten that excited about me. So, there you go.
Dan.
All right. Well, blessed be all of our kind donors. Amen.
Dan.
Oh, yes.
We live in hard times.
It's troubled these days here in these United States. We're not coasting. We're not sailing.
No.
Currently.
No.
Stormy waters. Stormy Daniels.
Among other things.
Among other things. One of the big pushes for the religious right has been to get these activist judges out that they hate and get in these activist judges that they love.
Yeah.
They don't hate activist judges.
No, not at all.
They hate the activist judges that go in the direction that they don't want.
Right. Because that's what makes it an activist judge.
Right. Is that they're activist against me.
They decided something that I don't agree with.
Right.
Activist judge!
Right.
Activist judge!
So, Anthony Kennedy, not chief, but Justice of the United States Supreme Court, announced he was retiring.
Yeah.
And now the Donald has announced his candidate, his replacement, the guy that he's putting up for replacement. Do they call that a candidate? What do they call that?
A nominee.
A nominee. He's nominated a man.
Yes.
Of course it was a man. A white man. Of course it was.
Yeah.
We're good at those white men having power here in these United States.
Yep.
One Mr. Brett Kavanaugh.
There can't be a Supreme Court justice with the name Brett.
Brett, I mean, honestly.
That's not a very
what's
weighty
next?
or serious
Greg?
name.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know?
Yeah. Antonin. I didn't like the guy, but that's a name.
That is a name.
You're doing something with that.
Ruth.
Sure.
That's a name.
That's a name. Sonia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gravitas.
Absolutely.
Brett
Nope.
lacks gravitas. He sounds like he should be up at one of the ski resorts.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out.
He's the server at
Year after
Chili's that
year.
you tip a little bit less. Brett. Anyway. That's who we got as our nominee is one Brett Kavanaugh, and he's a Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't upset the balance there at all.
No, because we need as many Catholics as we can get.
Well, it's so funny. Like, Catholics comprise, 20% of Americans
I
and
don't know.
50% of the
Supreme
court.
I know. It's interesting.
The rest are
Mainline Protestants.
Mainline Protestants.
Or there's been the occasional Jew.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Anyway, we've got a really solid guy here. Here's the thing: the right is hailing him as a free religious freedom guy. Mm-hmm. Now, if you know anything, if you've listened to our show more than once, you know that the phrase religious freedom in these United States doesn't mean religious freedom.
Not anymore.
When it's spoken by them, it means religious privilege. Mm-hmm. It means Christianity, specifically right-wing Christianity, privileged over all other religions.
Yes.
Or non-religion.
Peoples.
Yeah.
Laws. Everything.
Yeah. And that's what this guy seems to be all about. He's one of those guys. He's the one who ruled on. He dissented in a ruling. Was it last year that allowed a young woman,
This is the abortion case?
an underage girl,
Yeah.
who came as an unescorted minor from Mexico into these United States. Mm-hmm. She was allowed to have an abortion finally. She was pregnant, didn't want the child, and was allowed to have an abortion against this guy's better judgment.
Right.
Kavanaugh dissented in that case and was just livid that they would allow her to have free reign over her own body.
Well, his argument was that she needed to wait until she was with her sponsor.
Right.
The person in the United States who was going to be taking responsibility for her.
Which would very sensibly take enough time that it would be illegal for her to have an abortion.
Right. But yes, he was not facilitating the abortion. I'm just saying the grounds that he claimed.
But I mean, it felt very much like a very thinly veiled ploy to make sure that she couldn't have it.
Well, he needed to find something that was within the law,
right,
as a justification to delay and blah blah blah.
Right,
yeah.
And he's more than willing to do that. He also wrote a dissenting opinion to opposing the birth control mandate in the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare Act.
Yep.
He was very adamant that it was an undue burden that it was placing on religious organizations.
It's such a burden. There's boxes, Dan, that must be checked.
Yeah, they had to opt out instead of just being automatically opted out or whatever. they had to file a form, I think.
Yeah.
And stuff. It was a nightmare.
Undue burden.
It was an unholy nightmare. So anyway, this guy is the white knight of the conservative right, marching in to save us all from ourselves, because we don't seem to understand that Christianity is what this country's all about.
I don't know. We just have to oh, sorry, you're not Christian?
Yeah.
You don't have all the rights. Did you see what wonderful collection of rights and privileges? You know, we all share and enjoy in this country.
Right.
Oh, but you're not Christian.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Everybody gets the same rights to be Christian, to practice Christianity in the correct way, to
not have an abortion,
to never do the things that Christians don't approve of. We all have the right to do all of those things.
The right to be denied an abortion.
Yeah. The right
to be refused service,
right,
at a pizza parlor.
Look, we all have the right to hate gays equally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
including you, Frank. Even as a gay man,
believe me,
you have the right to hate gays.
Believe me, the self-loathing thing. Yeah,
it's so cute.
It's fun. It's time to turn back that clock, because those were good times.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all can appreciate those times. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think turning back the clock should be sort of that's basically at this point the Republican Party platform. They are not making any bones about it.
No.
They want to turn back the clock.
Right. We are progressives. They are regressives.
Right.
And they are happy to be such.
Yeah, absolutely. They understand that Leave It to Beaver was the correct way of Americaning.
Right.
Even though it never actually existed except on television.
Right.
But since that was the right way to American, we need to make the laws comport with Wally and the Beav.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what we're shooting for.
I'm pretty sure that back lot at Paramount, where the Leave It to Beaver house is.
Is it still there?
I think that street's still there.
Probably.
That's a piece of television history, Dan.
I just want to move in. It just seems so idyllic. Everybody.
Yeah, it's not a real street, people. It wasn't even filmed on a real street.
All the women were happy homemakers. All the men were joyful workers. And all
Going off to the office. You never knew what anybody's job was.
No, nobody had.
He carried a briefcase.
Yeah, he had a suit on.
Important.
You don't need to know anything about him. He had a suit.
Could afford a nice home.
Yeah.
And walked to work.
2.4 children and a dog, and that's all you need in life. A nice lawn, picket fence.
Yeah. Ward and June Cleaver.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what they're shooting for. A reality that never existed and that can't actually exist.
Does not exist. No.
But yeah, that's where we're at. So I don't know. What do we do? What are we saying here? Call your senators?
Yeah, I mean,
Congress people?
Yeah, there's it you know what? It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Cannot hurt to give them a call and just say, "Hey, this is a very, very, very important vote." This is calling your senator, by the way. Very important. You know, this guy represents something that would alter the fabric of America.
Well, and that's unfortunately what a lot of them are going for. But you can also say things like, maybe a man who's president of the United States, who's under investigation currently, and likely to be found guilty of something. Maybe he shouldn't be picking the guys who are going to be judging him in the court case. And if he is, maybe you should maybe you should follow the McConnell rule,
right?
And wait until after the elections that are upcoming,
right? Before
we get to choose a guy. How about that? How about just fair's fair and wait until after the election, like you all said you wanted to do, like was only fair the last time around. How about that?
Yeah.
All of those are somewhat valid things to say to your senator.
Yeah. Well,
especially if you live in a place.
Senator's staffer.
I mean, these people
it's important.
They're going to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
This is their biggest goal in the universe.
Your call to your senator's office, because you won't talk to your senator.
No.
But you'll talk to a member of their staff. It is actually one of the most effective things you can do. Writing an email or sending a letter, those have an effect, but the call weighs most heavily on everybody's mind because you bothered to take that extra step, dial those numbers, and actually call in.
Yes,
we're being a little political activist-y here, but I think it's important.
And in the era of texting and emailing, we're also terrified of calling. That it clearly means something when you do call.
It legitimately really.
I don't want to call a store. Nobody wants to call anything anymore.
My God. Yeah,
we're all just call phobic, so it means something.
It does.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure a lot of you have something to say about this. Please write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com, and tell us how big of an idiot we are.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yep. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click that like button.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we'll let you in.
Indeed, we will. Hey, speaking of Facebook, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her hard work on the Facebook page. Have fun in Wyoming, Mackenzie. And thanks to Sarah, Amy, and Danny for all of their hard work as moderators on the Members Only Lounge.
And, check us out on Reddit. The name of the subreddit is, it's r/TGIAtheist.
Yeah.
Also, we need to thank the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And thank you, dear listener, for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Bye-bye.